That the NBA's Players Association's executive director, Michelle Roberts, has been holding conference calls by teams with players to gather feedback on the idea to resume play in Orlando. Yesterday on the Paul Feinbaum Show, Charles Barkley expressed concern over what happens if a player tests positive.
I think the one thing we got to do is how are we going to handle if one of our players get infected? And that, to me, is the tricky part. I mean, you can't stop the playoffs. Like a team, I think a team's gonna have to just forfeit a series if any of their players, not even their best player, gets the virus. You're gonna have to sequester the entire team, and they're gonna have to forfeit a round of the playoffs. They're gonna be gone from the playoffs.
All right, we bring Jalen in here, and Jalen, there's so many things I want to get to today with you, but I just wanted to get a quick reaction to that. When you heard Charles, when you talk to people around the league and everyone that you're in contact with, what do you make of what Charles said there?
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I understand what Charles is trying to say, and he's right. All of those circumstances could take place, but you have to take that chance, Greeny. Our country is trying to heal slowly but surely. Sports is a big part of that, psychologically and emotionally, and everybody has to look at this season. It's just going to be random. There are going to be some circumstances that we had not seen before, and we just got to prepare ourselves for that. If one of the people tests positive for coronavirus, then we'll deal with it at that point. But we're seeing other sports slowly start to have live activity, UFC and NASCAR. I know you saw Peyton and Brady yesterday, so we're slowly starting to get back, and I think sports is going to help a lot of healing.
All right, I'm with you. So let me bounce my idea off you that I brought up on the air here yesterday, and I've been waiting for you to get your opinion on it. So for years, you and I think you and I have agreed on this. I know I've been saying it, that if there was a way to take the 16 playoff teams and seed them 1 through 16 rather than breaking them up into East and West, that they should do it. And Adam Silver has said to me a million times, travel is the reason they can't. Well, travel is not a consideration at Disney World. So you tell me, should they do it this year? Should they play out a tournament 1 through 16 in the playoffs?
Absolutely. And it goes back to exactly what I just said. In watching The Last Dance, I want everybody to remember something. There was a time when NBA teams actually played against squads in their division 6 times. You know what that creates? Rivalries. You know what we don't have today? Rivalries. What better way to now have squads that normally face each other twice a year actually face one another in playoff series, and therefore you get a chance to see great players playing against other great players that you wouldn't normally see matched up against one another. This is why I've been talking about this for 25 years. This has to be the year that it takes place. Just like resetting the schedule this year seems to be indirectly taking place. I love this idea, the thought behind it. If everybody's sequestered at one location, this is the chance to do it. And lastly, don't feel sorry for the players, Greeny. Just think about this. There may be 1,000, 1,500 NBA personnel in one place at one time. At Disney, imagine being quarantined with your family at home in your multi-million-dollar estate or your NBA player apartment. But then all of a sudden, it's 1,000 of you, and you have Disney. You could give each team their own hotel and still have space. So I love that idea. I hope it happens.
No question. They could be on Space Mountain on their off days. They got plenty of time down there. Okay, so you and I are in agreement on that.